I'll start with that. Excited to welcome Tammy to University of Florida. It's nice that I'm not the newest tenured coach on campus now. I've been that way for a while, but excited for her. And she's got great passion, energy. Got a chance to meet her last night and spend a few minutes with her, and really look forward to what she's going to build here. Practice 6 today. Looked like we had spring break last week because we did. Felt a little bit like those, sometimes you come out of a bye week and you're trying to get the car restarted when it's been off for a few days. So it felt like that a little bit today to me. We will have a bye week during the season, so it's a decent sort of dry run of what that looks like for our guys to some degree. We'll do more than a bye week than we were allowed to do with them during spring break, but some of our guys probably had a little too much fun on spring break off the way some of the practice looked. So, and to make sure I do address this, my trip going to Italy getting canceled was not just my decision. Okay, my wife, I caught a little shit over that. All right, my wife, she's all in. She's a football coach. She's a better head coach's wife than I am a head coach, and she actually, when I went through the process of deciding to take this job, she was the one who was like, hey, that Italy trip, that's not going to work. You're going to have like plenty to do. We're going to have to figure out how to move and all this stuff. So I want that publicly out there that was not me being a bad husband. Yeah, that was really her fault. All right,
So you'll go to Italy is what you're saying?
Yeah, at some point. We went to Naples, Florida. Yeah, it was nice. We went to Venice, Florida. We substituted some of the Italian cities for some of the Florida cities. So, but with that, we'll open it up.
What was in particular maybe a little bit rough in the start of practice that you were hoping would be better?
Yeah, you get into the rhythm of what you're doing in the practice schedule and the flow of things. And there were certain times today that, like, where we were starting a drill, guys forgot where to go. And it's like, hey, this is the 6th time we've done this, but we haven't done it in like 12 days. So there was just some things like that. And then just some details, ball security, how we want to practice, staying on our feet when we're not in a live setting, just certain things like that. It just was not as crisp, probably to be expected to some degree. But every time you take the practice field, you can't waste an opportunity. And I don't think we wasted today. I'm not saying that at all. I just don't know that we maximized the opportunity of what today could be. And I thought there were some really good moments, just not maybe the consistency it needed to be.
Coach, we're getting the quarterbacks here in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you see in that competition, and what do you see in just kind of like these guys need to support each other too?
What you just said there at the end, I think, is critical. I like the room. Do we know who the starter is today? No idea. Like, have no clue. Yeah, I know. I'm just, but like, what I want you to understand is, one of them will have to be the starter in game 1, and they got to go earn it. I like the room. I like how they're competing with each other, but also at the same time, the word you use that they are doing well is supporting each other. They're challenging each other, but they're doing it in a healthy, competitive way, not I tell them all the time, you don't elevate by pushing someone else down. And really, someone else elevating should help you elevate. And so I like how they're competing with each other, not against each other. We got a long way to go to identify who's going to be the trigger man that gets the opportunity to start game 1. You can start game 1, and it doesn't mean you're starting game 2 or 3 or 4. You got to play well even if you get the nod for game 1. And so, but I think we're seeing certain things out of all the guys in that room. I know that everybody wants to focus on Philo and Trammell, and that's fair. Will Griffin did some good things today. Like when he figures this whole thing out of how to operate at the line of scrimmage, man, he's got some real ability, arm talent that's there. Aiden Warner's got some good stuff about him. Like I like how he provides maybe layered depth to that room and has a veteran presence. Aaron's good in that room. There's a lot of guys in that room that I like the room. I like the makeup of the room.
What do you like about the two main guys, at least in people's minds, like individually? Like, what do you like about Aaron's game? Yeah. What do you like about Trammell's game?
Yeah, Philo obviously has familiarity within the system, which gives him maybe a little bit of a jump start on where you are in the progression of operating within the offense. He's a good decision maker. He's got a quick release. a good arm, can make all the throws, competitive, has some leadership traits that are intangible that you like. And then Trammell, just sort of a natural, moxie young guy, doesn't maybe have quite the experience. Not that Philo's started a ton of games, but he's been in a few more of the competitive moments that Trammell hasn't been in quite as many yet in college. But Trammell, to me, just has a naturalness about him. You know, he's got a quiet confidence about him. He's very easy to relate to and sort of gravitate to, and he, similar to Philo, he can make all the throws. He runs effectively. You know, neither one of those guys are run-first quarterbacks, but they both have the ability to run and create and extend and do some quarterback run game things. Trammell, I think, you know, the biggest thing for him is just making sure he's operating at the most efficient level as fast as he can within learning a new offense. But both guys are doing a great job. They really are. Like, I love, you know, they're taking roughly the same amount of reps with the ones and roughly the same amount of reps with the twos, if you want to call it that. You know, right now, the depth chart's very fluid. There has to be a depth chart for who goes out with which group, but they're both sharing reps, if you will, with the same number of pitch count with each group, and both guys are doing some things that excite you and feel like we could play winning football with either.
What stood out to you about Jonathan Saxon? Did you have a previous relationship with him, and just what's his role with the defensive line going to look like?
Yeah, so, Saxon comes from Wofford. He was co-defensive coordinator there and has been a play caller at times in his coaching background, like called the defense, which is, I think, really as many guys you can have in that room or any room that have had to think like a coordinator, that's valuable. I don't know him like real intimately, like we've worked together to that depth. But the tree that I've coached with or around a lot of those guys defensively, we're sort of in this 3-4 world where it's like, okay, some of these guys are Nate Woody guys, who's now the defense coordinator at Cincinnati, who was at App State forever and then was at Army. That tree is sort of the Wofford 3-4 tree. And so a lot of the guys I've coached with have been from that tree, whether it be Sheil Wood, who was at Texas Tech now as the DC. Sheil was my first DC at Troy. Greg Gasparotto, who's with us, was with me at Troy and Tulane, all have that Wofford tie. And so there's a little bit of a tie to that coaching lineage, that tree, that while Saxon and I have not ever worked together, I feel like I have, just because you clinic together, you share similar philosophies, big picture football stuff. Spent a lot of time around a lot of those guys in that circle, if you will. And so I'm excited that you can add a guy to that room, the D-line room, but that it also can, you know, that Brad can go, hey, what do you think here? And he's called the defense. There's real value in that, to have just another set of eyes that's had to put the call in the game.
You've had a few practices and pads now, assessment of the physicality. Is it where you wanted, or how do you assess?
Yeah, there's been some good. We've only had really one true live period where we're tackling the runner to the ground. That was the Thursday before spring break. The intent and the intensity turned up, and you felt that. We'll do it on Saturday quite a bit. Thud, you want everything to feel the same, but the ball carrier not going to the ground, and you want people on their feet. I still think we have a long way to go, but I do think that there's been enough there to give me some hope that, hey, there's proof of concept that we'll play with physicality. We have to do it all the time. This is a grown man league, and physical teams win, tough teams win. And so some good. Is it good enough yet? No. I mean, not yet.
Are you having a scrimmage?
Saturday we'll scrimmage some, yeah. Yeah, we'll scrimmage some. We'll scrimmage some this Saturday. We'll scrimmage some the following Saturday, and we'll do some form of scrimmage spring game type environment on April 11th, orange-blue game. I can't give you the exact format yet. I got 3 or 4 I've done, but we will play real football. We'll tackle the guy that's got the ball on April the 11th.
Injury update on Dallas, just how he's doing.
Out of the boot, boots off. Return to play running program will start really this week. What does that mean for his availability for spring? I'd have to really lean on Paul Silvestri and that gang down there that does a great job. Like I said at the start of spring with him, if we had a game, he'd be practicing right now. I have an abundance of caution for him, and I want to see him play football games in the season. We're going to do everything we can to make sure we get him fully right before we're like, hey, I'm not rushing him to – I got a pretty good pulse of what kind of player he can be. Does he need the practice reps and the work? Yes. Does he need to get healthy more? Yes. So I want to be smart, tough, not dumb tough there.
We talked about. Go ahead.
You know, Jaden Baugh came back as one of the, obviously most talented guys on the team. What have you seen maybe from a leadership role with him so far through the first couple of weeks, or how is he performing, or just kind of showing some of the other guys around?
Yeah, Jaden, I learned a lot about Jaden in the process of retention of getting him to stay. He's really a low maintenance, high production player in regards to he doesn't really seek a whole lot of extra attention from like, he's not like if you text Jaden Ball, like don't expect like a text 30 seconds later. Like he's just not like that. Like he's not like one of these attached to his phone guys, which is rare this day and age. But he is a ridiculously talented athlete and player. He's big and physical and has great contact balance for the running back position. I think he's growing as a leader. The first level of leading is leading yourself every day the right way. I'm challenging him not to be like decent at what he does, but to be elite at what he does. And he'll tell you, I called him out in a meeting a month ago in front of the entire team about, hey man, like I think you had a chance to be a pro. Let's be a pro in everything we do with how we do everything. And so I love what he's about. You know what I love about Jaden is he's very coachable. Like he really likes, he's open to, like sometimes you get guys that are sensitive or defensive or they get in their feelings or soft. Like that kind of makes me nauseous. Like guys that when you don't want to get coached, like I don't know how to coach you if you're not a guy that doesn't want to get coached. He likes getting coached. He's definitely sort of the proving guy in that room that guys look up to. And I think he's growing as a leader within the running back room, our offense, our team.
What have you seen from Micah Mays so far, and how much of the sprint?
He's flashed. He's really flashed. Trying to get him to be a little bit more physical in certain points, but then as soon as you feel like maybe he didn't do something physical, he'll back it up with a play that's ridiculously physical. But he's made some down the field catches that have been really impressive. He's tracked the ball well. I think he has a skill set to have a really legitimate role within what we're doing on offense. What does that role become is going to be based upon, how well-rounded will he make his game. And the more you can do, the more you can play. But he did an unbelievable job in one of our special teams drills today. I was watching some reps he was taking, and I'm like, I like the player. I'm really excited about what I think he could add to this football team.
What does it say about him that he walked into the situation here?
Yeah.
There's a crowded room. You're bringing in, Singleton. I mean.
Yeah, you want guys that are not afraid to compete. Like when people whether it be the transfer portal or recruit or whatever, when the first two questions are what am I going to get paid, which I want them all to get paid, but if that's the first question, or the first question is, well, how many receivers are on the roster? Well, everybody's got a room full of receivers. Wherever you go, there's going to be receivers on the roster. You got to compete with them. And so he didn't walk in intimidated by there's other good players in the room. VB3 is a known player here. Dallas Wilson's obviously a household name to some degree, even though he's a young player. And then you add a Singleton and Micah still choosing to be a part of this. Like him and Bailey Stockton, both are two guys, and I'm like, hey, they still chose to walk in this program knowing the receiver room doesn't suck. Okay? I love that because that says a lot about your competitive character and your self-confidence. And I'm going to walk in, I'm going to compete with whoever's there.
How great was it to see Mbachu back out there today?
It's fun. Yeah, man. I've missed him. Big dude, man. We need him to continue to grow. We need him to really ascend quickly. But it was nice having him back and healthy. And it was not a major deal, but we felt like by putting him on the shelf, we could give him the right amount of time for recovery to be ready to go the rest of spring.
How key will Saturday's scrimmage be for the quarterbacks, just to show what they can do in that setting?
Yeah, I think you have to be able to operate when the bullets are live, if you will, to some degree, and there's not a coach out there behind you, and everything's, a lot of our stuff on our team scripts after the first 3 or 4 practices, it's a call, it's set up, it's not just scripted. So, but you have to go do it. You don't have anybody holding your hand. And with the format now that we have the coach to player communication, there's always, training wheels, if you will, to some degree. But then, like at the line of scrimmage, when that thing cuts off at 15, if we aren't in a tempo call, you got to be able to operate. Like, you got to be able to be a big boy and do it on your own. And so it'll be important. I mean, it's.
Will Buster and Brad be the guys doing the in-helmet communication with the?
Yeah. So Buster will for sure, as of right now, be the quarterback communicator and put the play call in, and Brad as well. At practice, we do some 2-spot situations, so they can't be in 2 places at one time. So other guys on staff have to do it at certain times when we do 2-spot practice things. But yeah, those 2 guys will put the call in through the coach to player stuff.
Do you know yet if they'll be upstairs in the?
Yeah. So as I went through the process of putting staff together, Buster traditionally has liked being in the box, seen it better. Brad's been on the ground. We'll start with whatever they feel most comfortable with and go from there.
The quality of receivers help ease the transition for quarterbacks. And
Yeah.
then also, are they working extra with these guys and doing things? Are you seeing these guys stand after practice and doing things like that?
2 great questions. Yeah, I think when you're a new quarterback, it's nice to have good players around you, whether it be the receiver room, the O-line room, whatever. But to be able to know if I put the ball out there and play, the guy on the other end of the throw's got a chance to go make a play. It's nice. And then those guys have worked really hard throughout the offseason, spent extra time together. The big challenge is through the spring is like, we do on our non-practice days, like tomorrow, we do walkthroughs and some things. You don't want them to do a whole lot of extra running because we're putting some significant yardage on the receivers' bodies during practice. So we've got to be mindful about not wearing guys down. But yeah, they're putting in a ton of work. Those guys are working their tails off.
Your first coaching clinic here this upcoming Friday, I think. What do you hope that the staff and you can take from some of the speakers that'll be here, especially as a new staff that's still figuring things out, I guess?
That's an awesome question. We're very privileged. I can't thank the guys that are coming to spend time with the clinic enough with, Coach Meyer and Liam Cohen and Gruden. Like, what a lineup, right? Like, that's pretty cool. I'm very fortunate that I know all of them. It's not like when they walk in the building, I have to introduce myself to them because I've spent time with them. I've worked with Liam, gotten to know Coach Meyer better and better and better since taking this job. He was, we had interactions before I took the job, and then Gruden, I've gotten to know better the last few years. And then really, one of my biggest mentors worked for Gruden in Oakland a long time ago, and so that lineup is exciting to me. To as the head coach at this program, to be able to know we can get that kind of caliber coach to come as a guest and address the high school coaches and other coaches that are going to be there. We've got a huge turnout. I think it's like 350 people pre-registered. I think that the biggest coaches clinic they've had here since 2016, I was told, is 140 or 146. So we're already like double that. I'm not going to put a cap on it. Like, if there's 500 people here, there's 500 people here. But the one thing I think that I am excited about is they're all Urban and Gruden are going to be at practice on Friday, which will be fun. And I think the other thing I'm excited about is Urban is going to spend some time with our coaching staff, just the coaches and Urban in our staff room for. I'm going to give him a half-hour-ish window or whatever I got on the schedule for his day to just address our staff about what it means to be a Florida Gator and what it means to, represent this place and do it at a high level and pursue championships. And I think he's got a great eye for excellence in play style. And me and I talked some in January about some of the teams in the CFP about what makes teams able to maximize what they can become. And so I'm excited about hearing all of them talk. I told Gruden and Liam I just wanted to hear them install some offensive plays. So, like, listen to Gruden talk. I got a notes section in my phone the last time I heard Gruden talk. A notes section that says Gruden, and I got like a million words on quarterback play that I just jotted down on my phone. So I'll be in the audience taking down notes just like anybody else.
Did you ever tease Liam on his Duval soundbite?
Oh, gosh.
You know, I haven't. I've teased him on enough things. He recovered from that pretty well. You know, kind of like my start here. Nobody wanted me hired here either. Everybody wants some other guy, but, you know, it's working out okay so far. We'll see.
You go to that the Florida coaches dinner last night.
Yeah.
Are you meeting some people there for the first time? And there's some championship guys, people
You know
in
what?
that room.
Best question all day, man. Yeah, great. The welcome for me coming in here from that group has been amazing. I've been blown away with our head coaches thread text chain that goes on. I'm obviously not the elder statesman. I'm one of the least accomplished in that group, right? And it's funny because I actually, you're gonna think I'm kidding, but I came up here with like notes of all the cool stuff going on in Florida athletics right now. Because I'm like, and I had it brought to me today because I'm like, how cool is this? Like, yeah, we had our women's basketball coach just get announced. Women's gymnastics just won the SEC championship, right? Big deal. Men's basketball won the SEC regular season. Obviously, heartbroken for Todd and that group with how it ended, but like, man, and I don't know if y'all know, but they won the national title last year. Mouse just got SEC Women's Coach of the Year for like the 500th time. All right, like women's softball just beat Tennessee on the weekend, right? Like the list goes on and on. Like track and field finished third, and women finished fifth at the indoor championships earlier this month or something. Like all these different rankings. Women's lacrosse, 12th in the country. Swimming and diving, 10th overall. That's women's. Men's, 4th in the nation. Women's tennis, 20th in the country right now. Men's tennis, 20th in the country. Women's golf, 4th in the country. Men's golf, 3rd in the country. Baseball, ranked. Like, it's just the standard of excellence here, I think, is really, really cool. It's part of what attracted me here. Like, as I went through the process of taking this job and getting a phone call from Urban Meyer, but then getting a phone call or two from Todd Golden, and Todd being like, hey, as you're trying to make a decision, if you got questions, man, just call. Like, we're good. And so that fraternity of head coaches here, I think is unlike, I've been at places where you maybe get connected to a person or two, but like, man, Jenny in gymnastics, JC in golf, Tim in softball, Sully in baseball, Todd in basketball, like Mouse, like they've all just been like really awesome and welcoming. And I'm actually going to end up more than likely at some point, I don't know if I'll do it in training camp or during the summer, but I'm going to have all those coaches come address our team because I think it's cool for them to hear like, this is I think Jeremy Foley used to talk about, what was the term he used? Team Florida. Like we're all on the same team. No, just because we're Florida football, dude, I'm Florida basketball's biggest fan. So I'm very, very, I have a high level of respect, and I'm very in awe of what those other programs and coaches do day in, day out, and they're an unbelievable group. And so, yeah, last night was fun. I'm getting to know some better than others just because of natural ties or whatever it may be, but really awesome group of people.
All these accomplishments you just mentioned, you've been at basketball a ton. Does it motivate you? I mean, I know you don't lack motivation, but does it make you a little bit, hungrier in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, winners want to be around winners, right? Like, they're watching, just going to basketball, like getting to sit next or close to the team bench in basketball a few times this year. I freaking love watching Todd coach. I'm like, this guy, I feel like he should come be on our staff for a couple of days, like, and hang out. Like, he's a maniac, just like I'm a maniac, probably. Like, I like watching people with a drive and pursuit of excellence and being really competitive-minded and tough-minded. And, I think if you are a person that is of growth mindset, other people's success inspires and does motivate you. If you are a fixed mindset, other people's success intimidates you. I'm a growth mindset person. I love watching everybody at Florida Athletics have success. I freaking love it. So I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to have exposures to great coaches and great programs.
Should be a guest coach spring game.
Yeah, maybe we will. Yeah, if he's got some touchdowns, he can come call whatever he wants. Yeah.
Defense, we haven't really talked about today a little bit. What's kind of, how's that coming along?
Yeah.
What areas are standing out a little bit, and what would you like to see there?
I felt Aaron Childs the last couple of practices more. You know, we had the live setting the Thursday before spring break when we turned we turned it up a little bit and let him tackle for that one period. His presence was felt. You know, just trying to figure out maybe who are our best 11, who are the next 5 or 6, where do we put them in positions to be successful, and then how do we develop players. We've got, I think, only 3 or 4 returning starters on each side of the ball. Like, I think we lost 7 on both sides, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of new faces. We've got a lot of work to do. I think we have some pieces, but we're just trying to figure it out. And, you know, if you want to be a really feared defense, you can have no weak links. And everybody has to be ready for the hard down, where they're the challenge player all the time. And we're learning in that. We're growing in that. We got a long way to go. There's some guys flashing. L.J. McCray has flashed doing some things. Emmanuel has flashed doing some things. Bet has really flashed doing some things. You know, it's Kanye Clark, this little nickel that we got from UCLA. You know, he's like a little chihuahua out there. Like, he's just like, he bark, and he might bite you, but like he got a little intensity and some tenacity about him. Like, Kamani McLean, I think, could be a really good player. He's got to be consistent. Didi's not out there full time right now, but he's back. Jawari Flowers is doing some good things. You know, Bryce. I'm gonna miss somebody, but like. Yeah, he's got a shot. Like, you know, he's got time on task. He's played a lot of football at the collegiate level. You know, I think even on defense, like y'all asked about the quarterbacks in a scrimmage setting, live setting. I think even on defense, it's like when we're not tackling, it's thud. I blow the whistle at certain times where you may or may not have completed the tackle. We're going to find out on Saturday who will actually beat the ball carrier to the ground, not just tackle him, like pin him to the ground. Over and over, like do that all day. So we're gonna find out what we're made of a little bit.
Just told a story last month about how you guys shared a wall at Kentucky and how he would bang on the
Bang
wall.
on the wall, like, yeah.
And just what's it been like watching his rise and what?
I didn't know he shared that story with y'all. Believe it or not, I don't watch everybody else's interviews, but that is a true story. That is a true story. He used to beat on the wall, and I'd bang back and be like, "Why are you beating on the wall there?" What was the rest of it though?
What was it like watching his rise? What stood out to you about his time at Kentucky that made you want to hire him at Troy, Tulane, and now here?
You know, so believe it or not, Evan was like and I think it was honorable mention all conference center. Yeah, like he's like a little guy, right? Like you don't look at him and go offensive center. You look at him and go like maybe he works at IBM. And so, is IBM even still in existence? All right, Apple. But so Evan is a football junkie. He's a fantastic human. You know, overachieved as a player. He went to Hoover High School in Birmingham, a school I'm very familiar with. He, you know, got coached in college by John Schlarman. I don't know how much y'all know about John. John was a GA at Kentucky when I was a player. John was a player at Kentucky right before me. John was Evan's position coach at Troy. Then John went to Kentucky to be the offensive line coach at Kentucky for Coach Stoops the entire time until 2020 when John passed. And John trained Evan. And I watched Evan on the same staff I was on. I have more respect for John Schlarman than probably anybody I've ever been around in my life, like just the toughest guy I've ever met. John, when we would split drills or whatever, I watched Evan take young linemen and groomed them that became great players that John coached at Kentucky. And he's a student of the game. He's eager. He's not going to be outworked. He treats people well. He's very knowledgeable. He was like our O-line GA at the time, and he'd want to come in and like talk about linebacker play with me, or talk about coverage schemes, or talk about disguises we would do. And I'm like, that's rare. Usually O-line GAs are just like, how do I get all my cards drawn for practice or whatever I got to do? And he wanted to come elevate who he was holistically as a coach. That's just how he's wired. And great staff guy. Yeah, just really proud of. It's been fun to watch Evan's growth, man. Really, really cool.